John, tell me a little bit about your business, your background in the business, and what your passion is.
When I saw someone a job, I really pushed it. Good work isn't cheap, and cheap work isn't good.
Correct.
I don't have to chase money. They're not that kind of customer.
Sure.
I never called the customer, text, or anything the day of the installation. I want them to look at it. I want them to feel it, enjoy it. I always get people telling me your guys were phenomenal.
That's great.
They were very neat, very clean, very respectable. They showed me everything about the door or the window.
All right, welcome to the Relentless podcast. Today I have John Lomonaco, local Washington Township gentleman that's been here for a long, long time. I appreciate you coming on today. John, tell me a little bit about your business, your background in the business, and what your passion is.
Well, it started when I was 13. My grandfather had a business that he started in 1950 as an iron shop. My brothers were older, 14 years older and 10 years older. So by the time I was 12, my brothers were already in the business full time. So basically, I wanted to be with the guys. So I would literally go down the shop in the summertime. My brothers would pick me up. When they moved out and got married, they only moved 3 blocks and 5 blocks away from home. So it was pretty convenient. We were in Glen Olden, PA.
That's Italian. They stay close.
Yeah. And the place was in Southwest Philly. So it was literally 15 minutes away.
Yeah.
So being 12, 13 years old, I'm not allowed to use any of the equipment. Supposed to be sweeping the floors. Well, that lasted for the first year. And then 13 and a half, when I was going down there, my brothers would go out and do, one's out installing, one's out selling and measuring. I'm in there hounding the guys in the shop to teach me how to twist pickets, make scrolls, do something. And that's when I started. And then I started teaching myself how to weld. By 14, I was building the window guards, exterior railings, and then by 17, I was the custom fabricator of the company. And then when I got out of high school, I had a son on the way. So I didn't go to college. I ended up going into business at 19. I was running the whole show.
Amazing.
And then we turned into a door company building security stone doors.
Sure.
I went out on my own in 2014. I left the family business and pursued Lomonaco's Iron Concepts, which I have now. We do entry doors, garage doors, patio sliders, windows, exterior railings, portico rails, driveway gates, interior railings, and just custom ironwork. Coffee tables, wall tables, something that anybody wants. They just send me a design, I could probably build it.
That's amazing.
But that's where my background comes.
Got it. Yeah, so me, in knowing you in just a short period of time, I know you know your stuff. You know door measurements to the T, which way to install them, best way to install them, best scenario for each door in a certain application. You got that down.
I was lucky. I had 2 older brothers. My oldest brother, Fran, he's probably one of the smartest people I know and very creative. That's where I think I got most of my numbers. My kids tell me I'm a freak when it comes to math and numbers and percentages and money. It just goes in my head.
That's great.
But I enjoyed it. When I went to college, I just went night classes.
Sure.
I took all math classes.
That's beautiful.
I got an A+ in calculus.
That's great.
Now, today, I couldn't do a calculus problem to save my life. But geometry is what generally we use.
Sure.
And I remember most of it for my business anyway.
Definitely.
I can't go in there and be an architect and all that stuff. But I do draw on the computer in AutoCAD.
Great.
So I could do elevations and stuff like that.
That's great.
And believe it or not, right now, my wife is my helper.
That's awesome.
She comes out, she helps me on the jobs. Just someone to running back and forth to the truck, clean up the mess that I make when I'm drilling holes in wood and I got sawdust everywhere.
Yep.
So we work good together.
That's great. That's great to have her by your side, too, to be able to do that.
Yeah, we get to spend time because if not, she never sees me. I'm
No.
either out with customers, I'm out installing, I'm in the garage, or I'm in my office.
Sure.
I'm kind of like you. I work a lot.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, nonstop.
Yeah.
So right now you're doing the installs, for the most part yourself. Sometimes you have some
Just the
other
railings.
guys, too.
I build the exterior railings. Kind of went back to my roots a little bit.
Yep.
I do it in my garage, so I get to work at home.
That's beautiful.
At my speed. It's all custom stuff. I can get people to build them for me. I've had people build them for me. I just don't like the quality. And when I saw someone a job, I really pushed it. Good work isn't cheap, and cheap work isn't good.
Correct.
And I firmly believe that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, my one buddy said, Mike Liberia, he's like, John is very, very meticulous with everything that he does.
I am. My kids call me anal. I am meticulous.
So
like I
that's
was
great to
listening to
know.
you out there telling, why is there dirt in the truck? Why didn't you dump it?
That's
Clean
right.
it out. I'm the same way.
Mm-hmm.
In the factory every day at 4:15. Guys worked from 8 to 4:30. At 4:15, the buzzer went off. Everybody in the shop stops and cleans up their area from the day.
Love that.
There's people sweeping. There's people cleaning off machinery. If I walk in there at 5 o'clock after everybody leaves and I see drill shavings all over the drill press, the person that's responsible for that gets docked a half hour the next day. But he has to start working on time. So he's got to give me a free half hour's worth of work.
Sure.
You'd be surprised how many times people just say, I'll get it tomorrow morning before John gets in. Well, I'm there first, and I'm also there last. So I see everything that you guys do. It wasn't to punish them. After a period of time, didn't take long, you don't have those problems.
That's right.
And your shop and your floor is clean.
Oh, yeah.
You could eat off our floors.
That's beautiful.
That's very, very important to me because it instills into the guys working that if you're that crazy about the floor, imagine how crazy you're going to be about the door or the railing or whatever we're doing.
That's a lot of people don't understand that, and that is really, really important. That presentation, that cleanliness, is having the things in the right spot, in the right order, and then almost having like a SOP, like a standard operating procedure on how you do everything, and making sure that your area is cleaned up afterwards.
Yep.
I can't tell you, even working in people's houses, you could do the perfect job on something, but if you leave a mess,
Yep. That's what they remember.
it's a horrible job. That's what I remember. Or you could be mediocre, looks good, is acceptable, but you leave it spotless, they love it.
Yeah.
They love it. So it's so important to be able to clean up at the end of the job, make sure it's cleaner than when you went in, and be able to leave that customer with satisfied and basically referring you out to everybody.
It's really important. And when my guys go out and install the doors, I'm not there. And my customer's not. I don't have to chase money. They're not that kind of customer.
Sure.
They live in nice homes. Door goes up. They start at 9 o'clock in the morning. They're putting in double doors, 8 foot tall, ripping everything out. They're going to be there till 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Sure.
It's an all day job to do
Absolutely.
it right. And I'll text Mike, the installer, and I'm like, hey, Mike, you got any pics from today? I wish he would remember, but it's every job. I got to tell him, you got pics, and he'll send them to me at night. And then the next day, I reach out to the customer. I never call the customer, text, or anything the day of the installation. I want them to look at it. I want them to feel it, enjoy it. And if I don't get a phone call by 10 o'clock the following morning, I know everything went well.
That's good.
And then I'll reach out with a text or a call saying, hey, how do you want to pay the balance? We got a credit card on file. You want to use that? You want to send me a check? I can pick up a check. And I always get people telling me your guys were phenomenal.
That's great.
They were very neat, very clean, very respectable. They showed me everything about the door or the window. That's really, really important to me.
Absolutely. So going over things, so in your business, I mean, you wear all the hats, and that's a lot. That's a lot. I've done that in the beginning. I've done it for years.
I don't pay any of the bills. My wife takes care of all the bills for the business and
That's
for the
huge
house.
too. That's huge too.
Yeah, but she can't do the contract. She can't do the estimate. It's too detail oriented, and
It's
a lot
too
of
custom.
it. Yeah, it's a lot of it when you're looking at something. It's like, how does this get built?
Right.
You can't teach someone how to build something just by talking to them.
That's right.
They got to physically go in there and do it.
Yeah.
And I don't want my wife to be a worker.
No.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
She runs the vacuum cleaner. She cleans things up. When we're all done and I'm putting the saw and everything away, she's in the house wiping down the steps with a damp rag.
That's great.
That's just stuff that we do to make sure that when we leave, the house was cleaner than when we got there.
Absolutely. Yeah, one of my great talent stars, that was his biggest issue. He would do like a broom sweep,
Yep.
but leave a little bit of a mess. So what I did is I hired his wife.
There you go.
Now she goes and finds the things, little inconspicuous things that, hey, why don't you hit this? Hey, you're missing grout over here. Hey, let me clean it.
Yeah,
As
nobody's
they're cleaning
perfect.
it.
I mean,
No, absolutely.
Second set of eyes is always beneficial.
Definitely.
Yeah, so I mean, that's a good thing.
Oh
to
yeah,
have.
yep. Now, I think a tough thing to do when you're doing custom, like what you do, is scalability. And the reason I say that, for you to train somebody to do what you do,
Takes years. I got 40 years experience.
Yeah, I know you've been doing it. I know you know your stuff inside now. So that's something that I think, on my end, and again, with Showcase, we do a lot of custom stuff, but I also do a lot of stuff that's easily trainable.
Yeah.
And I feel like some of those, that's what we talked about before, some of those things that are easily like, hey, this is our model, this is our SKU, this is what we order, these are the standard sizes. They'll be ordered most. That's kind of what I try to build out with everything that I do. Only because with entrepreneurs like you and myself, I feel like sometimes we tend to complicate things without complicating things. Even though it could be really, really easy, I'll go in and I'll go, oh, we're going to do this step and this step and this step. Wait, cut it all out. Just get this step.
Try to make it idiot. I always call it make it idiot proof.
That's right. Oh,
It doesn't mean you're an idiot.
No.
I used to tell my guys every day, if you don't learn something every day, I don't care if it's how to put a weld down or how to keep this door from bowing or whatever. As long as you learn something every day, it's not a wasted day.
100%.
It doesn't have to be groundbreaking.
Sure.
But it's systems are in place. You build a door frame for like security storm doors. You build a door frame, there's a system you got to go. There's a certain way you have to weld the pickets in.
Right.
Because they're hollow.
Yep.
So if you don't weld them in correctly, your last weld's going to leave an air hole. You can't see it or anything like that. But if you leave it on the bottom of a picket, when you stand the door up, any oil that's in that picket comes down and come out that little seep hole. It's got to be up top. It's just like you said, systems.
Definitely.
On how to do it.
Oh yeah. So as far as a target market for you, like what's a target market for you and what's your ideal customer?
My ideal customers, basically is making $250 or more a year.
Sure.
Right. It used to be a house for $250,000 and up, but now for $250,000 you get a shed.
I was going to say same thing.
So probably my customer's $450,000 home.
Right.
And up.
And up.
I weed people out. I was always brought up that you don't give prices over the phone, but for exterior railings, I don't go out to a house unless I pretty much know I already have the job. Because you're going to do 2 railings 3 feet long, 6 feet long, or whatever. Right. I don't need to go to the job.
No.
I can look at the pictures and tell you exactly what it's going to cost, send you pictures of the work that we've done. You want to do it? Boom, I'll come out.
That's right.
We'll meet.
You build a reputation for good work, so that's going to...
Yeah. I FaceTime people. I'm big on technology.
Yeah.
I'm like, you want to know? We did a job up in Doylestown last week. Never met the customer. She found me online, called me. We sold the job through pictures that she sent me. And I called her. I said, can I FaceTime you so that you could put a face to a voice? And she really appreciated that.
Sure.
She goes, but it wasn't necessary. It's like, well, I think you should know that I'm an actual real person.
Right.
And, you're sending me a check for $4,000 that's actually coming to me.
That's great.
So she really appreciated that. So I try to use technology as much as I can.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I think what we just started doing recently was invite to scan. So what happens is there's a house and you say it's a kitchen. I literally just send the customer an invite to scan. They scan the room. I get all the measurements. Now I'm able to give them pricing right over the phone.
Now, is that a program that you designed, or is that just something you pay
program's
for?
already out there.
Okay.
Pay for. It integrates with our software that we designed.
Okay. They have stuff out there that you can measure, like door jams.
Yep.
You just put your line. I think they do it for like countertops, flooring.
They do. Yeah, flooring. And then all that stuff gets automatically entered into our estimating software.
Okay.
And then we already have the price right there in
There you go.
seconds.
Yeah.
So it cuts down some of the time that normally I would be spending driving out there,
Yeah.
measuring everything up,
Yep.
which I could do too. It's just
It takes time.
oh yeah, yeah,
It takes time, even with doors. If someone's got a door, 2 sidelights, and a transom, I know what you have.
right,
It's a what do they call them? Track house.
sure,
My house is a track house. There's 6 different models that you could choose from.
right,
But the doors are all the same. You know what I mean? They're either going to be this wide or they're going to be that wide, depending on what size mall post you have,
absolutely,
or whatever. So it's like I can give you a price, and I have a lot of iron designs that go in between the glass that are mine and mine alone that I drew on the computer.
that's awesome.
So up until this year, 99% of the doors we did had my iron designs in it. Now it's about 60%.
Gotcha.
The other 40 people are doing the simulated divided lights, the
Right.
farmhouse look with the
Sure.
grid pattern. That's
Yeah,
really popular.
Yep.
So we're doing a lot of them.
That's great. That's great.
So we do a lot of doors.
Oh yeah. So being in business for so long, what are some pointers you can give somebody young in the game that maybe you have missed that now because you've done it?
Don't think you deserve it, because you don't. You only deserve what you work for. I worked for everything that I have, and it may not be much to some, and it may be a lot to others. But to me, I'm a pretty simple person. I get up, I go to work, I eat dinner, I go to bed. If I have to run out at nighttime for a customer, I do. I try not to, but if I have to, I will.
Yep.
Tomorrow I'm going down to Margate
Yep.
to
Totally.
take care of a customer that we already did their job, and somebody else messed up flooring and stuff like that. So they had to remove all the iron balusters, and I'm going down and putting them back in for half the price I would normally do because they gave me business.
Sure.
We did all the iron balusters. We did front doors, side doors. And he's a friend of mine.
Right.
You know, and I'm going to take care of him as best I can. I'm not in it. I'm not looking to get rich on a customer that we already did the job for.
Sure.
I just got to cover my time and my labor.
Absolutely.
That's it.
That's great. That's
So,
great.
yeah, I mean, just work hard.
yeah.
Just don't think you deserve it. You're only going to deserve what you work for. Keep your head down, grind it out. When you think you know everything, be humble because you don't.
Right.
My wife picks up on things that I don't see. I might run out to the truck to go get something because she's not going to know where it is or what tool I'm asking for.
Sure.
And then she'll come back and say, when you did this handrail, you pushed the post out. Oh, let me go take a look. And I look.
Right.
So I value her opinion.
Sure.
Because she's got a good eye.
Absolutely.
And she's great with like interior design, like decorating and stuff. She's really good at that. But she picks up on things that maybe I don't catch right away. I would catch eventually because there's, you got to go around and check certain things before you keep moving on.
Right.
But she's my eyes. So she says, hey, you did this. Okay, let's fix it.
Awesome.
It's usually just a matter of taking a screw out and moving a handrail up and putting the screw it back
Okay.
in. Because it walks once in a while. But that's tricks of the trade.
Sure.
But I mean, to anybody out there, to be an entrepreneur is great, but you're going to wear every hat until you get to a point like where you are, where you have systems in place and people working for you and stuff like that.
Sure. Absolutely. And even when you have that, even get to like where I'm at, I'm working on the business, but I also sometimes have to step back into the business
Yep.
just to make sure everything's running how it should.
I saw you the other day. I mean, we were in my truck. You were on your phone the whole damn time.
Absolutely.
And you're like, Jesus Christ, my phone. I told you to reset your phone because you didn't get a text, and you had like 22 texts come
That's
through,
right.
and you did.
Absolutely.
So yeah,
Yep.
I mean, you're a guy that's on your phone all the time. My business isn't as robust as yours, but I don't have as many people working, and I don't do what you do. You're doing kitchens and bathrooms and homes and stuff like that. So you got a really wide array of things that you do.
Sure. Absolutely.
And I've seen your work.
Yep.
And it's excellent.
Yeah. Thank you.
It's
Thank
excellent. I've referred you to 3 or 4 people in the last 6 months.
You. Oh, wow. That's great.
I don't know if they told you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I always tell people, if you want this done, call Sam.
Sure.
You want this done, call Sam.
No, I appreciate
Well, how do you know Sam? Well, I kind of know him through the industry. I know his name, but I know his work. I've seen his kitchens. I've seen his bathrooms when I do different things. I said, the guy does it right.
Yeah.
And he does it
That's
for a
the
fair
point.
price.
Sure.
But like I said, good work isn't cheap, and cheap work isn't good.
Correct. I tell people all the time, hey, if you want the cheapest price, you're probably not going to get the job done
I'm not
correctly.
people ask me, I'll reach out to someone 3 days after I give them a price, just check in with them. I like the text message because it's non-invasive.
Sure.
So it's like they could be watching TV at 7 o'clock at night and get a text. They don't have to sit on the phone talking while they're with their husband or whatever.
Absolutely.
And they'll say, well, I'm getting prices. And I just tell them, I said, well, any price that you get, I would love the opportunity. I would value the opportunity to try and meet or beat it.
Right.
But it's got to be for the same materials
Absolutely.
and the same products.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I mean,
then-
that just happened on the phone earlier.
Yeah.
That was a customer was like, hey, you guys were 5,000 more. I said, hey, listen, if you're comfortable with that person, I'm okay for you to use them for that thing in particular. Use me for the other things that you feel comfortable with me.
Yeah.
I don't need everything. I don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'd rather be part of the deal, part of the design, and help you bring your vision to life. Do I need to do the frame? No, I don't need to
Well,
do the
people
frame.
appreciate that too because you're not just looking to just take all their money.
Yeah, maybe
you're
a couple
willing
bucks.
to.
I care less. Take that.
You got somebody who does that and they can do it good.
Sure.
Fine.
Absolutely.
I'll
Absolutely.
come in when they're done and we'll finish it up or whatever the case may be. Every now and then I'll let the homeowner do what they call sweat equity,
Right.
but I try not to.
Sometimes it works against you.
Yeah.
They do it wrong. Or
People
they
want to
too
stain the
much.
handrails or paint them and stuff, and I'm like, no, I don't do that anymore because when you have someone come over to your house, because when they do that, I got to come back and put the iron balusters in.
Correct.
And then I see the work that you did.
Right.
Somebody comes to your house for a party and they're looking, they're like, who did this? And they're not going to say they did it. They're going to say, oh, the guy from such and such. That's what he did.
Correct.
So I learned that lesson a long time ago. So there's no more sweat equity. We either do it all or we don't do anything.
That's right.
Just because,
I like that. I like
just
that.
because we're more custom.
You're very custom and very specific.
Yeah.
When you're doing everything, in a whole house, sometimes we might not be the best fit for that person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So let me come finish because you want nice finishes. Let me come finish everything for you.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you want us to start, sure. We're pretty good with getting things done fast.
Yeah.
But if you have time and 6 months instead of 3 months or 9 months or a year, whatever it may be, go ahead, you do that, and I'll see you in a year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Versus all done in 90 days.
I've had people try to do the railings themselves. They're like, John, I just can't afford your price. Okay, listen, I get it. He goes, can you do anything with the price? I said, I already discounted it, and I don't sell price. I sell quality.
That's it.
I said, I understand. We're not for everybody. If you just can't afford us, you just can't afford us.
Yeah.
3 months later, I get a phone call, same guy. I recognize his number come up. I'm like, what's he calling me for? And he's like, John, I need help. I tried to do it. I can't do it. I went and looked at it. He had pickets crooked, handrail, it wasn't even close.
No.
And when it was all said and done, he gave me an unbelievable review and said he literally spelled out the whole scenario and the review.
That's great.
That he thought it was a little expensive. Not that he thought it was expensive, he just couldn't afford it.
Didn't understand it either. Didn't understand what need actually needs to be, and the experience that goes into it, the quality that they're actually looking for, and what it costs to
We actually became friends.
Oh, that's great.
We actually became friends. I've done doors for him. I've done windows for him. So we've actually become friends. We got to dinner and stuff like that. And he just appreciated my honesty.
Sure.
Which in this day and age is sometimes hard to find.
Absolutely.
Everyone's trying to make a dollar, but some people say, if you pay me cash, I'll do it for this. You know what? Whether I pay cash or whether you pay me cash or check, credit card, doesn't matter. We do the same amount of work.
That's right.
All the money goes through the same funnel.
Sure.
We don't play those games.
Well, I think what people get confused, some people will give a higher price and then start to discount you. We're not that guy.
Yeah.
We're the guy comes in fair price for a great product. That's it. We're not coming down off our price because our price is our price.
Right.
Where other companies, they say, hey, we're going to go really high and then act like we're giving you this huge discount.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we're not a discounted company. That's like a Walmart. We're not a Walmart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not to say Walmart is bad, but Walmart's like the discounted, stuff. Walk into Walmart, see what kind of people you see in there.
I find through the years, no matter what price you give someone will always come by and give a cheaper price.
Sure. Absolutely.
But what are you getting for that price?
Correct.
You do fencing. Every now and then you might do a couple fences a year. Mm-hmm. Mike Libery.
Yep.
He's my neighbor. I've known his father for a long time. I know Mike. If I get a fence job, he does it for me.
Sure. Same with me.
Yeah. I got a very small markup just for my time just to do the contract and
absolutely.
stuff. He does it. He gives me special pricing. He goes out, does the job. Customer loves it.
Yeah. No headache.
That's it.
Professional job.
But when you sell a job and you're going to sell someone a residential, commercial, or industrial fence, most of the time I like to sell the mid-range commercial. Right. Because residential is just very thin metal.
Sure.
I'm not talking about the vinyl. I'm talking about
the
aluminum fence.
With your hand.
The aluminum fence.
Yeah.
Like I have around my pool, I put commercial up. Mm-hmm. It's been up 27 years. Ain't a damn thing wrong with it.
Built to last.
Yeah, they're built to last.
Built to last. Definitely. That's another thing I feel like some of this younger generation needs to be schooled on the materials that they're actually buying, what they're getting, and how long it's going to last. Because the stuff now and the stuff from before, totally different. The easiest way to put it is appliances.
Yeah.
You can buy a refrigerator, it's good for 50 years. You buy a refrigerator now, it's good for 5.
Well, it's in the same thing in the railing business. You go in Home Depot, they sell iron balusters. People tell me all the time, I can get this twisted bar for $5.98. I'm like, that bar is 1 millimeter thick. My bar is 4 millimeters thick. I know it doesn't sound like a lot. I said, but that bar you can put in your hand, your wife can bend it. Can't bend mine. My bar comes with a lifetime warranty on the installation, the integrity and strength of the bar, and the finish of the bar. So you call me 10 years later and tell me a bar broke, we're going to come out and replace it free of charge.
That's right.
You tell me it came loose, we're going to repair it for you free of charge. We don't 100%. Have that problem. You go in and buy a 60-10 handrail, standard handrail that everybody uses on the inside of the house. Home Depot, Lowe's, they're all finger jointed every 2-3 feet. What finger joining does is if you run your heat in your house in the wintertime and you don't have a humidifier, you're going to dry out that wood.
Right.
And what happens is the finger joints start to spread apart. Plus, when you go to stain it, it could look blotchy. Because you got a 2-foot section of this tree put with a 2-foot section of that tree and another tree, and you go stain it. A lot of times it doesn't come out consistent.
Yeah, the way the tree actually accepts the stain.
The grain, the way it accepts.
Oh, yeah.
Plus, it's finger jointed. So if you have to draw a hole where the finger joint is, now all of a sudden you just weakened your hand.
That's right. Absolutely.
I buy my stuff all from a stair supply company.
That's great.
And ship it in.
Quality.
Yes. Everything we do, solid handrail.
Awesome.
Thicker bars.
Yep.
Everything we buy is better. We don't buy any materials hardly at all at Home Depot or Lowe's.
No, got it. That's great. So it was a pleasure having you on.
Great.
What's something we might have missed? Is there anything that we might have missed that you'd like to talk about?
We do have a thing that we started, an online store called cheapstairsupplies.com for the homeowner that wants to do the railings themselves.
Sure.
You can go up there. It's very user-friendly. You can go up there and you can order all the materials that you want, and we'll ship it right to your house.
That's great.
If you have questions, you can call the office, and we will walk you through the process of order. I'll do the order right over the phone with you.
That's great.
And it just
doesn't
makes
get better than that.
Yeah, it just kind of makes it so that trying to build something up that maybe I could leave my daughter
Love that.
to where she could do it,
Yeah.
or something my wife can do
That's
while
great.
I'm doing other things.
Absolutely.
But I love things online.
Yeah.
I like to shop online.
Mm-hmm.
So this online store, I've had it for about 14 years.
That's great.
So I just revamped it and just rebranded it last year at cheapstairsupplies.com.
Love that. And then what's the best way for people to get in contact you for?
You can go to our website, liciron.com,
Yep.
or you can call our office,
What's the phone number?
856-740-1071. Just leave your name and number, and we will get back to you within 24 hours. We're
Great.
not always in the office. Like you said, I wear
You're
a
on the
lot of
job.
hats.
Mm-hmm.
But when you talk to me, you deal with me. If there's a problem with a job, you don't call a subcontractor. Our windows and doors are put in by a subcontractor. Our garage doors are put in by a subcontractor. But all the railings and stuff are done by me.
And you have relationships with these subcontractors for a long, long time.
Oh,
So
yeah.
these are professional guys.
Oh, yeah.
And you oversee them.
The guy that does my garage door, I mean, he's been doing my garage doors for 15 years.
And that's all he does. is
That's
garage
all
doors.
he does is
So
garage
this isn't
doors.
chucking the truck, coming, putting it in the garage. No,
No.
this is someone professional.
This
I
is
already
all
know
he
that.
does.
I don't want people to understand, like,
No,
hey,
he's
this
got
is
it.
his sub, he's your sub, and he does professional installation
Yes.
just like you have done it.
He's been doing doors for me for almost 15 years. I have not once had a complaint,
That's
either
unbelievable.
with him or the guy that does my doors and windows.
That's great.
And you put a Palladium window in 6 feet wide by 7 feet tall, you need 4 guys. You got extension ladders outside, extension ladders inside, suction
sure.
cups, picking that thing up and putting it in place.
Yep.
I never have an issue with the guys.
Awesome.
And I always tell them, if you need this, you can go up to $200 extra on an install that you need to charge me if you have to do something extra that we couldn't see.
Right.
Because we ripped out the door and the floor is all rotted. You got to put some subfloor
Sure.
down. I don't care. You're approved up to $200.
That's great.
That way you can take care of the customer.
Oh, yeah.
They're not looking to try and track me down, saying, hey, listen, we got to do this. It's going to be $98. Just
Absolutely.
do
That's great.
it. Just do it.
Awesome. Well, appreciate you coming on, John.
Thanks.
Thank
I
you so
appreciate
much.
you having me.